I'm looking super crusty right now and I'm so upset.
Well, Mimi.
What?
Maybe I f***ed up already.
Oh my god, are they all enemies to lovers? Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a weekly vlog. I'm gonna take you with me on the things I do on a day-to-day basis, which is realistically nothing. I just work, read, and play video games with my friends at night. And I don't know, I thought it'd be a fun video to vlog just because I'm currently reading Mr. Wrong Number right here. And I am just currently dying. Like, I have so many reactions to it and I'm only 20% into the book right now. And I am, oh my god, I'm low-key blushing, kicking, and dying just because of the secondhand embarrassment I'm getting for Olivia in this book. So I thought it would be just fun to go ahead and do a reading vlog because y'all missing out on my reactions right now, okay? So a little synopsis about the book is that we have this girl named Olivia and she's currently roughing it out. She's having a rough life, all right? She burnt down her apartment, which was theoretically, technically not her fault. She was written off by the fire department. It's actually the apartment problem and not necessarily her, but she did start it, though accidentally, because she was burning her ex-boyfriend's love letters or whatever. She was just really upset after their breakup since he basically cheated on her, and now she's moved back in with her brother and of course his hot roommate, aka his best friend. And she also received an anonymous text from some dude, we don't know who, and they're literally going at it in the text, okay? It's as close to sexting as it is without actually being sexting, and lo and behold, it turns out to be her brother's hot roommate, aka arch nemesis. This is all supposed to be slightly enemies to lovers, but I don't know if I've said this in the past, but recently from a lot of enemies to lovers I read, a lot of them are just like, she has some misunderstanding about the male lead, and the male lead doesn't actually really know he's her arch nemesis. So I'm getting that vibe here. They're not really enemies, but she has some misunderstanding with the male lead and she isn't particularly fond of him. So right now I'm on page 81 on my Kindle and we just got to the part where the male lead finds out that, like, holy shit, it's my best friend's little sister. So I'm excited to see what happened because the amount of stuff that was said previously was a little wild. So I don't know, I would personally never recover from it. If I said that to somebody and I realized that they're like someone I know, I would crawl. Like, the world will have to open itself up and swallow me whole because I would refuse to be alive at that point. So let's just get into continuing reading this and I'll keep you guys updated on my reactions. So I just got to about page 100 and it is almost 7 o'clock, which means it's time for my dog's daily walk. Page 100 of Mr. Wrong Number. Oh my god, it's Olivia has such bad luck. She just needs to chill out. I think the girl needs to take some time and chill out or else she's just gonna run herself over. But I'm here for the chaos. I'm here for the chaos and I'm here to figure out what Colin's gonna do, or I want to see how they get together because at this point Colin's going back and forth on how he should see his best friend's little sister because it's kind of weird. It's a little bit weird, you know, because you know her brother as like your best friend and she was probably like really young when you guys met. So I think for sure they were really young, but as the older as you get, like the age gap is less of a big deal, especially now that they finally met each other. Like they haven't met each other in like ages since she was in college, and she's well out of college now, and I think she's 29 28. I don't know. I'll let you guys know if I ever figure out her age and their age gap, but it's not a huge deal to me right now. So on my walk, I think I'm going to listen to The Cruel Prince. If you guys know I have my opinions about The Cruel Prince, but I am a completionist. I am FOMO, so I am going to listen to The Cruel Prince because everyone is saying book 2 is really good and it's people's favorite. So I'm not gonna jump to book 2 without knowing what's happening in book 1 because nothing would make sense. So I'm gonna do it. I'm currently on chapter 19 on Spotify, so that gives me about another 10 chapters to read or listen to. And since I'll be at work and stuff, I think this would probably be something that I could listen to while I work. Let's get going. I'm gonna get dressed and take my dog out on a walk and listen to Spotify. Is now Monday night. I did get a little FedEx box because I did buy some skincare or makeup from Asia, even though I was just literally in Korea. So I thought I would do a box unhauling, or like, yeah, I think that's what it's called, just a haul video and see what I got because I already forgot. I think I purchased this before I went to Korea, I think, so I don't really know what's in it. There's a bag of goodies. Oh, I think I remember what I purchased now. All right. Speaking of goodies, I also have like a whole box of skincare, hair care, makeup maybe, empties that I have that I said I was gonna eventually include in one of my videos with a quick review on all of them because I hoarded these just so I would know what is good and what isn't. And it's been here for a long time, so I should probably get started on that. I might do that in this vlog. Not sure. But first, let's do my yesstyle haul. The first thing I purchased is a little, what is this called? A mixing palette, so I could just start putting my foundation on the mixing palette instead of on my hand because I feel like my hand soaks up a lot of the foundation that I use, and I don't even use that much foundation to begin with, but I'm trying to get every last drop. Then I bought the Isn't Hyper Niacinamide 20% serum. This is my second bottle of this and I actually really like this, so that's a restock. I believe I got this because I couldn't find it in Korea, the Isn't brand. I know that it should have been in Olive Young, but I couldn't find it and I just forgot and gave up. On that same note, I actually picked up 2 more items from Isn't. One is the hyperacid serum and the other one is a retinol serum. I am actually on rent, which is a prescription in America. I've currently been using that, but I don't think it actually helps, so I might switch over to a retinol serum with peptides and ceramides and see if that changes anything. And then I picked up basically like a huge acid peel, just because I have a lot of dark spots on my face that I'm really trying to just tone down. So we'll see if those two works. I'll keep you guys updated. I did get a matte lip pencil. So in Korea, I actually did a color analysis. I'm sure you guys seen that trending on TikTok or on YouTube of people doing color analysis, and they say that my best color is like purple for makeup, so I did pick up some of the pencils. I also picked up a eyebrow pencil because I actually never fill out my brows because I have bangs, so they're usually covered, but as my brows grow out, I figured I should get an eyebrow pencil. And they gave us a little freebie. Nowhere near the amount of freebies we get in Korea whenever you purchase something though, so. Okay, this wasn't too big of a haul. I also got a cover-up correcting serum, and then I got a pot concealer. So excited to use these tomorrow. The last two is a shelf staple for me, so it's the Aromatica Rosemary Scalp Scaling Shampoo. I highly recommend this if you are like, if you have like a scalp that's like itchy, dry, flaky. I think this really gives like a really good cleanse. I'm actually trying out their Rosemary 3-in-1 treatment. I usually, does this autofocus very well? No, it just focuses on my face because that's what this camera is supposed to do. I'm gonna try this one out as well. This is actually like my 5th bottle of the Aromatica Rosemary Scalp Scaling Shampoo, so I love this. I recommend it all the way through. This is great. Everything else is new to me except for the Isntree Niacinamide acid one, so I'm excited to try that out. If you guys know anything about me, I like to finish my products all the way through even if I hate them, so I could actually know if it's good or not. And you already know I love the rosemary one because this is my empty. I have an empty one in my bathroom. I'm pretty sure I've thrown out like 3 or 4 of these, so this is a really good shampoo. Highly recommend it if you have like a very scaly, scalpy scalp like mine. Mine flakes so much if I don't wash it with the shampoo like once a week. I feel like the dandruff is out of control. That is it for this mini haul. Maybe later on in the video I'll do like an unboxing of all my empties, but for now I'm just gonna go get ready for bed and listen to more of the Cruel Prince, since I actually got to a part of the Cruel Prince that is actually, you know, really good in my opinion. I'm finally on chapter 20 or 21 and the book has finally picked up. We just witnessed basically everybody in the, what is that, the royal family die because one of the brothers decided to be like, Dane, you can't be the new emperor or whatever, and he basically killed off the entire family except for Carden. That's where I'm at. You know what, it's picking up, so I am really excited about that. So I'm gonna listen to it while I'm like doing my face care and whatnot. So I want to see where this leads, since especially for Jude, since she was actually working with, I believe, the Crown Prince at the time, but now I'm not sure where her alliances is gonna lay, especially since she found out that her father, or her villain father, is actually on the person who's trying to overthrow. I don't know their names. I gotta be real honest with you guys. I think I'm a much better, like, if it's a fantasy book, I think I should be reading it. Otherwise, I'm not gonna know any of the characters' name. Because right now, all I have is Jude and Carden and Locke and Vivienne. Like, I will know their name when like I hear it on the audiobook, but right now I don't know any of their names. Those were like the 4 people I really stood out to me in the current novel so far. So that is my update for the Cruel Prince. I'm 67% in and I'm hoping to finish it this month. Right now it's kind of like, it's getting good, so I'm not gonna put it down, and I have a lot of time, especially tomorrow I'm going into the office, so I'll probably be listening to it while I'm just working on migrating over to my new laptop. And yeah, I will see you in the next update.
A laugh full of self-mockery. I was passed out cold while my family was murdered.
So I just got back from work and I also finished Mr. Wrong Number. I'm gonna come here and give a little bit of an update. I'm gonna rate it 3.75 stars. It's really not good enough to be 4 stars, but it's not that bad of a book. I think it's a fairly average book. The only thing that really kept it from being a 4-star for me was the fact that there was the 3rd act breakup that seemed unbelievably unnecessary and rushed. There was no point to have that 3rd act breakup if you were going to resolve it within like 3 or 4 pages immediately in the next chapter, and the resolution wasn't even satisfying. They break up and it's primarily because he lied to her about being Mr. Wrong Number. Like, he didn't tell her that's who he was after knowing about it for months, and then they find out about it. She's like, I can't trust you anymore. Very predictable. I knew when the whole miscommunication thing came up that there was gonna be a 3rd act breakup. I just didn't expect it to happen in the last 95% of the book, and then for it to be resolved in the last 5% of the book. And the book is only 352 pages, by the way, so that's a very little amount of pages to resolve something like that, because the best way, like, it had no good way of resolving it. Literally, she finds out that he's leaving town because he's really upset over the fact that they broke up, and then she comes running and barging in going like, how could you leave without telling me? And I was like, what do you mean? You literally blocked him. You guys literally, you told him to back off and you never wanted to see him again, so why would he tell you? So that was a little bit weird. And then he's just like, oh, but you're still the love of my life, I love you, and they get back together, and it was so unsatisfactory. I was severely disappointed. It was a fun read, but not one I would recommend. Now that's done, I actually wanted to show my screen here. One second. Okay, now I wanted to show my screen because guess what came back? My wedding photos. I got them professionally done while I was in Korea, and they just finally sent over the proofs, and I'm so stoked about them. So yeah, that is probably it for this update. I will update you guys on to the next book. I think I'm going to read Thee Kiss Quotient next, and then I'll head over to Front Desk, Butcher and Blackbird, and then Divine Rivals. I think that's what I'm going to be doing for my reading vlog, or for the rest of the month. I am actually listening to, I am continuing to listen to The Cruel Prince, and it's actually going very well. So it's actually picking up. I'm having a good time. Hopefully I'll finish it since I'm at the last 30% of the book, and then I'll keep you guys updated on my actual like opinion on it if I end up including it in the end of this vlog. Sorry, this is a tangent from books, but I really hate the sunscreen I picked up. This is the Radiant C sunscreen. Does it focus? I think it did. I don't have my glasses on, so I actually can't tell, but this is the Laneige Radiant C Vitamin C sunscreen, and I hate it so much. It pills on my face like no other. I don't know what to do. Yeah, it really pilled on my face. I was gonna do my makeup for the day, but I'm looking kind of crusty now, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm not sure if it even focused. I'm looking really crusty. I'm looking super crusty right now, and I'm so upset because I really thought that I was gonna be able to apply makeup today, but I guess not. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with my face, so I will catch you in the next vlog part.
Well, Mimi,
What?
maybe I fucked up already.
We got to this part of the box, and then we realized they didn't even give us the correct part that we need. It clearly says we need HE, but or H9, but we don't have that, so I don't know what to do. We have this. This doesn't even look like it. Not even close.
Looks a little bit like it.
That's not what the guy in the video said. And what do we do? I'm gonna call customer service. Shout out to my husband. The bookshelf, a little janky and a little bit rough, but we got it going. It's not stuck to the wall though, so I hope it doesn't tip over. I think we need a drill for that, and I'm not sure where I'm gonna get one. Well, I know where I'm gonna get one, but I'm not sure if I want to buy one, so I might borrow from my co-workers. For now, it's gonna stay as is. So I'm gonna move over my books to this bookshelf and then make this my little reading corner. Also, I forgot to mention in whatever update I had, I went to Costco and they had King of Sloth for sale for $11. The retail price is $18. So I got this as a steal. I know as a fact I'm gonna get King of Wrath and King of Pride. If you know anything about me, I hated King of Greed, but I am a completionist, so I might, if I see it at Costco, I'm definitely going to be picking it up because this is a steal. I love supporting my local bookstore, but 33% off is, I don't know, it's too good to pass up. For the last part of the video, I'm actually going to use my microphone since it's been a day, and I figured since I'm wrapping up the video, I should at least put some effort into the audio. So I'm actually using my microphone for this wrap up. And as you can see, the shelf is built. Even though I thought we got the wrong part, we actually managed to just jam it together. I had a little quick story time. Because they actually gave us like the wrong part, I'll insert an image here somewhere. I went back to Target and I was like, hey, you guys gave us the wrong screw that we need to put the two shelves together. And is there any way we can get like the parts for it? They don't actually have replacement parts on site like they do at IKEA. So he was just like, grab me the exact same model, bring it up to the front, we'll tear it apart and we'll grab you the screws that you need. So I find it, I drag it up to the front, we tear apart this box, the screws and everything was deep inside the box. We pulled it out and it was the same exact screw I got in this set. And I was like, it's not correct. And we have the pamphlet now because we're in the store and we just opened this brand new box out, and I showed him the pamphlet and it has all the screws that it should include. And I was like, this screw does not belong in this whole list and we're missing this screw. So he was just like, yeah, you're just gonna have to return it. And at this point, the box is already out. I already put together a majority of the shelf. I just needed to put it together, like the top part and the bottom part. So what we ended up doing was just forcing the screw in and praying for the best. So hopefully this doesn't tip over and ruin my collection, but you know what? I don't know what's gonna happen, and we're just gonna leave it to luck. I live in California, so hopefully there's no earthquake anytime soon. And with that, I think I'm gonna go into my books that I finished for this week. I started this vlog, I think, on Sunday, and today is Friday night. I'm gonna try to get this video up and edit it for tomorrow. So I just want to go through all the books that I read because I read a lot this week. I'm actually surprised myself. So, and I think I already made a couple of updates here and there, and I really struggled with making the updates. My whole process just didn't work. And if you saw my little clip from earlier today, I was so mad. I was so upset about the foundation and the sunscreen just not working together. And it was the second day in a row that it has happened. And at this point, that sunscreen, like 2 strike, you're out. No longer using it. It's worthless to me now. So it's been delegated to be a body sunscreen, even though that was a pretty expensive sunscreen. So I'm pretty upset about that. All right, I'm gonna look at my phone really quickly and then talk about the books I finished. So let's talk about the books that I read for this week. The first book I finished was Mr. Wrong Number, and I enjoyed it so much. I love their banter and their interaction with each other, but the third act breakup, or should I say, the last 5% of the book breakup, was completely worthless. It ruined the book for me. It was like a solid 4 stars, 4.5 stars. I immediately bumped it down to 3.5 because I was just like, you have got to be kidding me. This is the most ridiculous breakup and get back together I have seen in a long time. Like, this is how you ruin a book. They should have just, resolved it nicely and cleanly and just maybe acknowledged that it has happened, which is the fake out of the phone number. Acknowledge that it has happened, apologize, and she should just accept it instead of trying to make a whole arc or a whole episode, third act breakup for just 5% of the book. That doesn't really add value to the book, in my opinion. So I was enjoying the book, and then I just suddenly wasn't. I was so mad about the way the author handled it, and the ending just felt so unrealistic to me. During this week, I also finished another manhwa webcomic called Just Leave Me Be. And I think this is the last webcomic I'm going to be enjoying for a while because I think I'm still riding on the high or the book hangover of Father, I Don't Want to Get Married. So I've been picking up manhwa on and off, but I think I'm just going to stop and I'm just going to carry my Kindle around with me and read my books because I feel like at some point the villainous manhwas just really, it's the same storyline. So really now I'm just like looking for a good execution and looking for a good artwork, and I haven't really hit what I wanted. So I'm gonna probably slow down on the manhwa for the month of May and June probably, and then maybe if something gets released or if something is really good, I'll probably pick it back up. But for now, it's kind of like stalling it out. I enjoyed the webcomic enough. It was decently good, but it was very predictable. It was very generic, and for that I gave it 3.5 stars just because I don't know, maybe I'm just over the webcomic manhwa phase because the villainous trope for me now is just not doing it for me, and I haven't really found any completed series that really captured my attention. I know that chronically Chris actually recommended me 2 villainous stories, and I might pick them up, but I don't think either of them are completed. And one thing about me is that I enjoy completed books. That's one of the reasons why I got back into reading, because I just could not handle incompleted series anymore and waiting for like the week-to-week update, and it stresses me out so much, especially when it gets left on a cliffhanger. So I think it's just a me thing. For now, I think I'm gonna lay off all the manhwa and webcomics, and we're just gonna deep dive into books that are gonna be released in June and whatnot. One book that I believe is being released in June is the next book from Ali Hazelwood, and it's actually not a paranormal book, and it's set in an office workspace. So I'm really excited to see how her execution is going to be, since most of her books have been academic focused or her Wild Bride paranormal novel debut. So I'm excited to see her workplace romance debut. Actually, I think it's Enemies to Lovers, which she's someone who generally writes enemies to lovers, because I know Love Hypothesis, Love Theoretically, Love on the Brain. Oh my god, are they all enemies to lovers? Yeah, I think all of Ali Hazelwood's books are enemies to lovers. I did not realize that, but yeah, I've read all of her books that she has published so far, minus the novellas. I know as a fact that they are all enemies to lovers, so is that just her thing? Because the next book she's publishing is not in love or something like that, and it's also enemies to lovers slash enemies with benefits or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how we got there from a manhwa webcomic. I don't really recall, but let's move on to the next book I finished, which is The Cruel Prince. Finally, after 2 whole months, I have finished The Cruel Prince, and I have to say, I was originally going to give it a 1.5 stars, but I bumped it up to 3.5. The reason is because the last 30% of the book was really good. It made up for the 70% of the book, but it did not dismiss how awful it was to get through the first 70% of the book. Everyone was right. She really does set up majority of her world and her characters and her plot in the first book. So majority of the book was really just setting it all up and introducing you to the character and all of the events that are going to happen. So as a result, it was really slow. Also, I really hated the audiobook. I felt like the audiobook really did the book poorly because there were a lot of revisions made on the audiobook that was just very obvious. It really took me out of the story a lot of the time, especially with all the re-records that they did. So it would be read in a whole paragraph with one tone, and then suddenly a sentence would be read with a different tone because they re-recorded it. Sometimes it's so bad that I almost think it's a different voice author, and then it continues on with whatever voice was in the first paragraph. So that really took away from being immersed in the book. So going forward for The Wicked King, I will be trying to get it as a ebook from my local library, and I'm really excited because everybody says The Wicked King is their favorite book. So really excited for that. I think I'm at a 9-week hold, so fingers crossed, hopefully it comes through faster. Okay, but on the same note, did you guys notice that Kindle rolled out, or not Kindle, Libby rolled something out that doesn't let you return the book on the Libby app anymore, but you have to actually go into the Kindle and return it. And once you return it in the Kindle, it's actually gone from your Kindle. And I'm so mad because what I've been doing is actually every time I get the book in, I download it to my Kindle and then I go on airplane mode and I return it using the Libby app so the next person can get it. And I think that's just a nice thing to do so that the next person in line can get it faster. But I think that's not going to happen anymore. I think we're actually going to have to wait out that whole period now. I think they're catching on to it. So that's a really big bummer. So the next book I read for this week, and I did not expect to finish it this fast, and I did not expect to enjoy it so much. I gave it 5 stars, and it was Thee Kiss Quotient. This was originally a recommendation from with Cindy. She's a pretty big YouTuber, and she reads a huge variety of books. I think I listened to Not That Bad per her recommendation. So her recommendations are generally pretty solid. So I picked it up. I wasn't really sure what I was expecting, but I did not expect the spice. Oh my god. And also the representation, beautiful. I love how they portrayed the person with autism, the main female lead, Stella, and I love how they portrayed the male lead, and their interaction with each other was just green flag all the way. And honestly, I really related to the male lead, especially the scenes with his Vietnamese family. I felt like it was very, very accurate. I don't know if the author is Vietnamese. I actually don't generally look up other details that much. I don't know if she's Vietnamese. Her name is Helen Huang, but I just felt like the representation for Vietnamese culture was very there. Just something about that family dynamic really hits close to home, and I related to that 100%. And I just love how Stella was represented. I felt like it was a very good representation and the struggles they go through in life, but also depicting them as just normal human being and just being Stella. And I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. Highly recommend it, especially if you just love romance and spice. So those were all the books that I finished for this week, which was a pretty good read. I was able to finish The Cruel Prince because I started going into the office, and a lot of the time I would have The Cruel Prince playing while I'm working on my code. So I think going forward, I'm expecting for future wrap-ups to have a lot more audiobooks. That is it for this weekly vlog. I'm trying something new. Let me know if you guys enjoy it, and if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to please comment, like, and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And with that, I'm just gonna let you guys go. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!